Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. Well, last year the government announced a new initiative aimed to breathe life back into areas that I felt they needed a bit of a boost to improve the quality of life for the local residents. So the Levelling Up Fund put aside £4 billion and local authorities could bid to have a slice of that action if they put together a good case of why they wanted the money. So the government has just awarded over 100 projects have been successfully given what they asked for, £2.8 billion of funding altogether. And so I thought I'd have a look at what has been asked for in our local area. We live obviously in a very nice part of the world here in Tunbridge Wells. So unsurprisingly, nothing from Tunbridge and Malling and Tunbridge Wells Borough Councils, but rather put in a bid to improve Bexhill, the community, the skills and the local infrastructure, and Dover, Kent County Council, put in a bid to improve transport links. So this money is designed to improve high streets, transport links to their areas, recreational facilities, lots of things to breathe life into those areas. So great to hear that Rother and Kent got their bids that they asked for, and it'll be really interesting to see how that money is now spent. We will watch and see. Zoopla also came out with a really interesting report last week, all about the growth in property that we saw in 2022. So we all know it was a boom year, an amazing year, but a tale of two halves actually, wasn't it? So overall, the UK property market increased by £80 million an hour in 2022. That is phenomenal. That's the overall value of all UK property. It hit 10.5 trillion at its highest point. And 92% of homeowners saw their properties going up in value. Most of them went up by £19,000 on average, but 3 million homes went up by £50,000 or more. But it was definitely a tale of two halves. This chart that you're seeing now on the screen shows how different that was over the year. So if you looked at 2022 as a whole, you can see at the top bar there, 27.4 million homes went up in value and only 2.3 million went down. But then look at what happened in the second half of 2022, that second column down. 21.5 million homes were net up over the year. 8.2 went down in that second half. And if you look at Q4, 13.9 million homes dropped in value and 13.9 went up, 15.8 dropped. So yeah, really interesting to see how that is definitely a tale of two halves. And that is the biggest thing that is going on in the property market at the moment, I would say, seller expectations on price. Sadly, we are not enjoying the boom year that we were last year. We're in a much more normal market, which means you tend to see negotiations slightly below asking price. You're not going to often go to sealed bids or have an initial bid that's way above asking. And agents across the country are reporting that that is the biggest issue, seller expectations. I would also say buyer expectations need to be brought into that though, from my experience. I'm finding that buyers are really thinking they can get a great deal and they need to learn that unless a seller needs to sell, they're just not going to sell in this tricky market. They'll sit and wait for a better price. But the market has continued to do really well, much better than I think any of us thought. And when we can get an alignment of buyer and seller expectations and get to a price that works for all, that's after all what's most important, then we're agreeing a great number of offers. So not all bad. So that has encouraged people to take their property to market, and I'd like to show you three lovely ones that we've just taken to market, spreading the value range. Let's start 425,000 for this lovely little two-bedroom cottage in Frant, beautifully presented, a really great garden actually, and heart of the village, a really great spot if you want to enjoy the village has to offer. Then going slightly up, we've got this lovely property on Arundel Road on at offers in excess of 850,000. This is a really stylish home. It's beautifully presented, lovely kitchen in this one, and really good bedroom accommodation space. They've converted into the loft, so it's great for a family. Coveted Claremont catchment, that's what that one's all about. And then finally, Birch Tree House, a nice big detached property, only built in 2010, so not that old. Really spacious accommodation and on at a guide of 1.725 million. So if any of those of interest, do please give me a call. Well, I'm pushing through. I've been on Veganuary and Dry January. So when I come to you this time next week, yeah, I'll be drinking and eating meat, which will be lovely again. But I hope if you've done those, it's gone well, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.